There were 30 passengers on the bus. They were ready to start their trip. But the bus was not moving. The co-driver was on board, but the driver was missing. Everyone was waiting. The co-driver didn't know where the driver was. The passengers were getting worried. After a long wait, the driver finally arrived. He was singing and laughing loudly. He waved at the passengers and said hello. He introduced himself 3 times. His eyes were red, and his breath smelled bad. He said, "Are you ready to go? We will drive fast on the road." A passenger near him was very angry. "Why are you so late?" he asked. The driver laughed and said, "I'm not late, you are early." The passenger said, "You are drunk," and called the police. The police came quickly. They talked to the driver and took him off the bus. He was still laughing and singing. A little boy asked his mother, "Mom, if the police take the driver, who will drive our bus?" The co-driver told everyone that a new driver would come soon. Many passengers looked at their watches and sighed. They were tired and wanted to reach their destination. Some passengers started talking to each other about the strange driver. They shared their worries and tried to stay calm. Soon, the new driver arrived, and everyone felt relieved. The bus finally started moving, and the passengers were happy to be on their way.
There were 30 passengers on the bus. How many passengers were on the bus? There were 30 passengers on the bus. Where were the 30 passengers? The 30 passengers were on the bus. Were there 30 passengers on the bus? Yes, there were. They were ready to start their trip. What were they ready to start? They were ready to start their trip. How did the passengers feel about starting their trip? The passengers were ready to start their trip. Were they ready to start their trip? Yes, they were. But the bus was not moving. What was not moving? The bus was not moving. Why were the passengers worried? The passengers were worried because the bus was not moving. Was the bus moving? No, it wasn't. The co-driver was on board, but the driver was missing. Who was on board? The co-driver was on board. Who was missing? The driver was missing. Was the driver on board? No, he wasn't. Everyone was waiting. What was everyone doing? Everyone was waiting. Why was everyone waiting? Everyone was waiting because the driver was missing. Was everyone waiting? Yes, they were. The co-driver didn't know where the driver was. Who didn't know where the driver was? The co-driver didn't know where the driver was. What didn't the co-driver know? The co-driver didn't know where the driver was. Did the co-driver know where the driver was? No, he didn't. The passengers were getting worried. Who was getting worried? The passengers were getting worried. Why were the passengers getting worried? The passengers were getting worried because the driver was missing. Were the passengers getting worried? Yes, they were. After a long wait, the driver finally arrived. When did the driver finally arrive? The driver finally arrived after a long wait. Who finally arrived after a long wait? The driver finally arrived after a long wait. Did the driver finally arrive? Yes, he did. He was singing and laughing loudly. What was the driver doing? The driver was singing and laughing loudly. How was the driver behaving? The driver was singing and laughing loudly. Was the driver singing and laughing loudly? Yes, he was. He waved at the passengers and said hello. Who did he wave at? He waved at the passengers. What did he say to the passengers? He said hello to the passengers. Did he wave at the passengers? Yes, he did. He introduced himself 3 times. How many times did he introduce himself? He introduced himself 3 times. What did he do 3 times? He introduced himself 3 times. Did he introduce himself 3 times? Yes, he did. His eyes were red and his breath smelled bad. What color were his eyes? His eyes were red. How did his breath smell? His breath smelled bad. Were his eyes red? Yes, they were. He said, "Are you ready to go? We will drive fast on the road." What did he ask the passengers? He asked, "Are you ready to go?" What did he say about driving? He said, "We will drive fast on the road." Did he ask if they were ready to go? Yes, he did. A passenger near him was very angry. Who was very angry? A passenger near him was very angry. How did the passenger near him feel? The passenger near him was very angry. Was a passenger near him very angry? Yes, he was. Why are you so late? He asked. What did the passenger ask? The passenger asked, "Why are you so late?" Who asked why the driver was late? The passenger asked why the driver was late. Did the passenger ask why the driver was late? Yes, he did. The driver laughed and said, "I'm not late, you are early." What did the driver do? The driver laughed and said, "I'm not late, you are early." What did the driver say about being late? The driver said, "I'm not late, you are early." Did the driver laugh? Yes, he did. The passenger said, "You are drunk," and called the police. What did the passenger say to the driver? The passenger said, "You are drunk." Who did the passenger call? The passenger called the police. Did the passenger call the police? Yes, he did. The police came quickly. Who came quickly? The police came quickly. How did the police come? The police came quickly. Did the police come quickly? Yes, they did. They talked to the driver and took him off the bus. Who did the police talk to? The police talked to the driver. What did the police do after talking to the driver? The police took him off the bus. Did the police take the driver off the bus? Yes, they did. He was still laughing and singing. What was the driver still doing? The driver was still laughing and singing. How was the driver behaving when the police took him off the bus? The driver was still laughing and singing. Was the driver still laughing and singing? Yes, he was. A little boy asked his mother, "Mom, if the police take the driver, who will drive our bus?" What did the little boy ask his mother? The little boy asked, "Mom, if the police take the driver, who will drive our bus?" Who did the little boy ask about the driver? The little boy asked his mother about the driver. Did the little boy ask his mother a question? Yes, he did. The co-driver told everyone that a new driver would come soon. Who told everyone about the new driver? The co-driver told everyone about the new driver. What did the co-driver say about the new driver? The co-driver said that a new driver would come soon. Did the co-driver say a new driver would come soon? Yes, he did. Many passengers looked at their watches and sighed. What did many passengers do? Many passengers looked at their watches and sighed. Why did many passengers look at their watches? Many passengers looked at their watches because they were tired of waiting. Did many passengers look at their watches? Yes, they did. They were tired and wanted to reach their destination. How did the passengers feel? The passengers were tired. What did the passengers want to do? The passengers wanted to reach their destination. Were the passengers tired? Yes, they were. Some passengers started talking to each other about the strange driver. Who started talking to each other? Some passengers started talking to each other. What did the passengers talk about? The passengers talked about the strange driver. Did some passengers start talking to each other? Yes, they did. They shared their worries and tried to stay calm. What did the passengers share? The passengers shared their worries. How did the passengers try to feel? The passengers tried to stay calm. Did the passengers try to stay calm? Yes, they did. Soon, the new driver arrived, and everyone felt relieved. When did the new driver arrive? The new driver arrived soon. How did everyone feel when the new driver arrived? Everyone felt relieved. Did the new driver arrive soon? Yes, he did. The bus finally started moving, and the passengers were happy to be on their way. What finally started moving? The bus finally started moving. How did the passengers feel when the bus started moving? The passengers were happy to be on their way. Did the bus finally start moving? Yes, it did.